Hello and welcome to the Zenysis 2020 product update. My name is James Bolster and I will be hosting this event today. I'm very excited to be able to share with you some of the achievements and highlights of the past 12 months. But I can't go any further without first noting the impact of COVID-19 on humanity worldwide. At Zenysis, we believe that data has tremendous potential to save lives, especially during public health emergencies. Our mission is to help governments unlock the potential of their data so they may respond more effectively than ever. For this video, we interviewed 3 of our current customers, including 2 customers who are using our software to fight COVID-19. We will see those interviews in just a few moments' time. After this, we will hear from Karim and our product team about some of the exciting innovations we will soon release to help users achieve even more with their data. Now, I'm aware that some watching this video have never seen our software in action. If you would like to take a look at a brief demonstration, head to YouTube and type in Zenysis Harmony Demo. Our first interview will be with retired Captain Bilal Shahid, a Deputy Commissioner of one of the districts of Sindh, the second largest province in Pakistan. The government of Sindh has been using our software to coordinate its response to COVID-19 since March.
So there were 3 to 4 sources from where we were getting all this data, and there used to be a lot of clustering with the files. We used to sit for long hours to decide on certain things. Zenysis provided us that platform, which was earlier missing in our approach towards handling this COVID. Everything we plan, we can execute it well if the decision making is timely and accurate. So this integrated platform gave us the vision basically to plan on how to get rid of and how to manage our things well. Decision making of locking down a particular hotspot, decision making for shifting of patients to the rural health centers from rural areas or to the urban centers where we have the civil and talca hospitals for, say, use of ventilators. And instead of thinking that where do we take that patient, say 200 kilometers, if I don't have the data that where we have a vacant ventilator. So deciding and then sending that patient and getting a response of no ventilator from that particular place was out of question. First and foremost, we saved time. We were able to plan and execute the decisions we were taking in a very amicable manner. So we were able to save so many lives. I would say that confidence of all our administrative head increased manifold after we started using this data. We cannot avoid the disease, obviously, but we can minimize its effect. So we were able to minimize its effect, and it really gave confidence to our health teams. We gave them confidence that the government is looking after them. They were not left in a hay that without the PPE, they are going to, check a patient who has symptoms. So the most major impact was our frontline workers got the confidence, and above all, the monitoring and supervision, both at the district level and provincial and federal government level. This increased manifold.
This next interview is with Leanne Adams from NACOSA, a large civil society organisation tackling HIV, AIDS and tuberculosis in southern Africa. NACOSA has been using our software to support their health programs.
I think the problem predominantly was we had a very segmented sort of non-cohesive way of collecting our data relating to the program. So we struggled with initially a data management system, and then from that, an ability to visualize the data or analyze the data in a way that would help us to make sense of what was going on in the program. And I think the reason we used Zenysis, in complete honesty, is because a number of other Global funded programs at NACOSA use the platform. So really through word of mouth is how the NACOSA team that works on USAID came to know about it. And we had heard very good feedback about the platform. And so it kind of just seemed like the most logical choice to have as many programs on Zenysis as possible. And so that was kind of an automatic, easy decision. You know, the immediate thing has just been the time that it's saved. We get a lot of random ad hoc requests from USAID asking us if we can't maybe show the data like this, or could we maybe zoom in on this aspect of the data. And so having all of the systems and the framework set up to be able to very easily manipulate the data on Zenysis has been not only a huge time saver, but really allowed us to explore some of the things that we knew we needed to look at in the data, but because of its just being totally disorganized, it just wasn't possible. So it's really helped to allow us to take a deeper look at some things that we knew were critical for the program that we hadn't been able to do previously. Time saving and just ease of use and ability to easily manipulate things on the platform. It's not a rigid, I don't find it to be rigid. There's, you know, you can always change things and fiddle. So I think for me, that's been the biggest change. And I think for our team at NACOSA, that's been one of the biggest things, is that the team knows now that the data is much more easily accessible. Being able to visualize the data has helped us to go back and improve the capturing of the data and the eventual data quality that we'll see.
Our next interview is with Marina Miranda at the Ministry of Health in Brazil. The Ministry of Health has been using our software to integrate and report its COVID-19 data.
O que eu achei bastante oportuno, né, da colaboração da parceria com a Zenysis, foi a oportunidade que a plataforma Harmony tem de otimizar e de disponibilizar informações em saúde. E realmente, isso foi um diferencial da plataforma, que nós temos na própria Secretaria de Vigilância em Saúde inúmeros painéis de visualização, né? Nós temos muitos técnicos também da área de tecnologia da informação, que nos dão esse apoio para construir esses diferentes painéis. No entanto, a plataforma Harmony, ela nos proporciona, além de uma boa visualização dos painéis interativos, ela nos permite a oportunidade de desenvolver e de construir os indicadores nas suas diferentes unidades de agregação. E nós estamos vivendo um contexto de pandemia, né? Todos nós estamos identificando metodologias e estudos para identificar esses excessos, se está havendo ou não excessos de mortalidade por conta da pandemia da Covid-19. E os dados do registro civil são interessantes para a gente também melhorar a qualidade da informação dos sistemas de mortalidade. E a plataforma Harmony, ela permitiu essa integração dessas diferentes bases de dados para que a gente pudesse fazer uma previsão, né, do excesso de mortalidade também por conta da pandemia. Essa parte do que está por detrás, né, vocês, a equipe da Zenysis, vocês são muito proativos, a gente percebe que existe um diálogo e um esforço importante da parte de vocês para se entender as bases de dados, para identificar os erros das bases, e vocês interagem de uma forma muito rápida, vocês estão sempre disponíveis a aprimorar e a desenvolver, e além de serem desenvolvedores, vocês também procuram saber o que vocês estão fazendo, o que eu acho mais importante, né? Porque a gente lida nessas áreas com diferentes formações e profissionais, mas quando se tratam de dados de saúde, né, que são bastante técnicos, claro. Eu vejo que essa parceria, tanto com os gestores quanto com a universidade, com os especialistas, né, eu tenho visto de forma bem bacana, tá?
Now we will hear from Karim in our product team about some of the exciting innovations we are about to release to help our users achieve even more with their data.
Hello, I'm Karim, a product manager here at Zenysis, and I'm excited to walk you through a few of our upcoming product innovations. So everything I'm going to show you falls into two buckets, and the first bucket of features are all about this idea of making the platform more proactive. And what I mean by that is, as you know, a big part of our value prop is bringing all of the client's data together in one place, harmonizing it, and then making it easy for them to query and visualize that data to find these potential insights that could lead to actions and better decision making. So all of these features, the idea behind them is to find ways that the platform can proactively push potential insights and notifications to the analyst and to decision makers to make it easier for them to find these insights. And so the first thing I want to show you is an update to our homepage. So what you're seeing on the screen is our platform homepage, with the new part being this panel on the right here, which we call the homepage notification feed. And there's two tabs. There's the Your tab and the Platform tab, with the Your tab containing those notifications that we think may be most relevant to you. And there's a few types of notifications that will go out with this first release, and we'll keep adding new ones over time. And so, for example, you may have a notification that says you missed 3 insights about your query that you ran yesterday, and I'll show you what that means in a second. The second one could be about alert definitions that you've configured. So users can say, tell me whenever there's any facility in the country that has more than 5 malaria cases. And then other types of notifications could include things like that there's new data on a dashboard you visited, or new data for an indicator you queried for yesterday. So that's the idea behind this, is one place where we can show you these new things that have happened with data, new data coming in, or things that other users have done in platform that may be interesting to you and lead to these potential insights. And so for the first one about having missed 3 insights about your query, when you click it, you would go to the query tool with the insights pane shown. And I actually want to show you this in our demo instance, because we have pushed a lot of this this is live right now. So what you're seeing on the screen is if you're building a query as usual, so you may add an indicator for influenza cases and another indicator for influenza-like illness cases. And you'll see all of this data populated on a table when you aggregate it by month or state. And so to see the insights, you click on this Insights tab here. And when you click in, you'll see a set of things that we found about the data you've queried that may be interesting. And so the first one is saying we found a strong positive correlation between the influenza cases and the influenza-like illness cases. And in one click, you could just click this View on Scatter Plot action that we present here, and it will switch you over to the scatter plot visualization and apply a line of best fit. And there's other insights, like having found a time concentration. You can view that on a time series, or just giving you this overall data profile about the queried data, and a bunch of insights about data quality, but that's a whole separate video. And our path forward with insights is basically that we'll add more and more types of insights that we can find about your query. And so the one on the screen here includes this seasonal concentration. So where we may find recurring spikes, like with influenza as shown on the screen, we can detect that and then show it to you on a time series or a heat tiles visualization when you click through. So that is insights. The third thing I want to show you here is the upcoming updated alerts notifications experience. And so this is the page that you would go to if you clicked on that link from the homepage that said you have 5 new alert notifications. And it's basically an inbox for all of the notifications that have fired for the definitions you've set up. And there can be several, like if there are a few hundred facilities across the country, maybe every single one of them met your alert definition, and we would have a notification for each of them. On the screen here, this is just an improved version of that inbox experience in product that makes it easier to do things like search through the notifications and filter in a very powerful and flexible way to find those that may actually need some action. And so that's the improvements to alerts. The last thing in the proactive bucket that I want to talk about is just to say that we won't constrain all of these interesting notification insights to just being within the platform. For some of them, the user could decide they would like them pushed to their email inbox or to SMS, and they would get an email like this one, kind of mirroring those homepage notifications from which you can click through to the relevant experience in product. And so that's all of our features in the proactive bucket. The second set of things that I want to talk to you about today is all around dimension matching. And as I mentioned at the top, a large part of our value prop is around integrating several disparate data sources together in one place and harmonizing it so you can query it all together. And an important foundational aspect of being able to harmonize that data is something called dimension matching across these sources. So the most common type of dimension matching we do in the countries we work is facility and location matching. So we may have integrated 2 HMIS systems, an LMIS system, and a few CSVs. In each of these data sources, there may be discrepancies in how they refer to facilities or locations. So one source may spell it, may use an older name for facility. There may be a slight misspelling in another one. One source may use acronyms a lot, but the other one does not. And it's really important for us to be able to match these facilities across these sources and build a master facility list. What I want to show you on my screen here are some front-end tools that we're building to allow our users to see the results of the dimension matching that we do on the back end, validate it, and suggest potentially changes to the matches that we've done. On the screen here is the location matching screen on the matched records tab. And so what you're seeing here is basically the results of our matching algorithm. And it says, row 1 in this table is the canonical entry. So the Chirundu District Hospital, and then row match 1 and match 2, which are in these below it, are basically the facility from source 1 and the facility from source 2 that we believe map to this canonical facility. And so in this view, you can basically go through and see the master facility list and all of the matches that we found from across the data sources. And you can validate them and make changes to them. If you click to the Unmatched Records tab, you'll find all those locations from across the sources for which we could not find a match in the canonical facility list. And in here, a user could come in and click match and suggest the match that it should be. And then the next time that the data pipeline runs, that data will appear under that canonical facility. And so that's location matching. But as I mentioned, this is just one example of dimension matching, and we're building a generalized tool and platform here. And so the other example that I want to show you is patient matching. Similar to location matching, you may have a couple systems with patient line lists that refer to the same patient, but potentially there's slight discrepancies like an older address or a slight change in their name or a misspelling and things like that. And so in the same way as locations, on the back end, we'll run a matching algorithm and it will suggest, just like locations, we think that these two people from each of these sources are actually the same person. Or leave them as unique. And so that's dimension matching.
That marks the end of the 2020 product update. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to find out more about us, please visit our website, zenysis.com. You can also send us an email at info@zenysis.com. Thank you.